All right, let's talk about the unsung hero of so many industries, the screw air compressor. Today, we're going to build the ultimate guide to keeping these absolute workhorses running perfectly. It's all about avoiding that dreaded, costly downtime. So let's jump right in. So what really takes a compressor down? It's a huge question, right? Because unexpected downtime, man, it's not just annoying. It's a massive blow to your productivity, to your bottom line. And, the funny thing is, it's rarely some big dramatic explosion. Nope. It's almost always the small, sneaky stuff that you don't see coming until it's too late. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at this, a dirty cooler. Sounds simple, right? But boom, that's what leads to those high-temperature shutdowns that stop everything. Or a clogged filter, suddenly you've got low pressure. A bad oil separator, now you've got oil contaminating your entire system. These are the little villains we're going to learn how to shut down for good.
So how are we going to do that? We've got a plan. We'll kick off with safety and common problems, then get into a daily and weekly rhythm. From there, we'll look at the bigger picture with a monthly and periodic plan. Break down the anatomy of your compressor, cover some pro-level best practices, and wrap it all up with your maintenance master plan.
All right, Section 1, Safety and Common Problems. And let me be clear, this is the non-negotiable first step. Before you even think about touching that machine, you have to nail this.
Okay, these steps are simple, but they are absolutely critical. First, you shut the compressor down. Then, you isolate the power supply. We're talking lockout/tagout, LOTO. Next, and this is so important, release all of the internal pressure. Don't guess, make sure it's zero. And finally, just let it cool down. Don't rush it. Only when all 4 of these things are done is it safe to even begin.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, the daily and weekly rhythm. This is all about building reliability through just being consistent. Think of it like a quick, daily health check for your machine, the kind that stops big problems from ever happening. So, every day, it's the simple stuff. Glance at the oil level, do a quick walk around, look for any leaks. Super important, drain the condensate traps. You gotta get that moisture out. Then check your gauges. Is the pressure stable? Is the temperature in that sweet spot, between 80 and 95 degrees Celsius? And just listen. Use your ears. If it sounds weird, something's probably up. Then, once a week, you'll dig a little deeper. Clean that air intake filter. Check the belts for the right tension. Give the cooling system a good look over, and test your safety valves.
All right, on to Section 3, the monthly and periodic plan. Now we're moving past the quick daily checks and getting into the more serious, hands-on stuff that really ensures the long-term health of your system. So once a month, you're going to want to really inspect and clean out the oil cooler and aftercooler. That's key for keeping it running at the right temperature. This is also your chance to go through and tighten up all the electrical connections, because vibration will work them loose. And while you're at it, check the motor alignment and make sure your auto drain system is actually working.
Now, beyond the monthly stuff, your big maintenance moments are all based on running hours. These are your major milestones. You've got your first big service somewhere between 500 and 1,000 hours. Then, around 2,000 to 4,000 hours, it's time to swap out some core components. And finally, when you hit 8,000 hours, well, that's when you're looking at a major overhaul. So, what does that actually mean? Well, that first service is pretty straightforward. It's a fresh oil change and a new oil filter. Simple. The next milestone, that's when you're replacing the big wear and tear items, the air filter, the oil separator. And that major overhaul? Yeah, that's a full-on system inspection. You're looking deep inside at the critical parts, like the bearings, seals, and rotors. Which brings us right to Section 4, the anatomy of your compressor. Because look, to do this right, you can't just follow a checklist. You need to understand why you're doing it. You need to know what you're protecting. Let's start with the air filter. Think of this as the lungs of your compressor. It's the first line of defense, stopping all that dust and gunk in the air from getting inside and just grinding away at all those precise internal parts. And a dirty filter? It's a double whammy. It's not just failing to protect your machine, it's also making it work way harder, which costs you a ton in energy. Next up, the oil separator. And this thing's job is mission critical. Its one and only purpose is to pull the oil out of the compressed air just before it goes out into your system. This is what guarantees that the air hitting your tools or your products is totally clean and oil-free. And believe me, you do not want this component to fail. A healthy separator gives you clean, oil-free air. Perfect. But a failed one? That creates something called oil carryover. And that means oil is getting into your airlines, into your equipment, and maybe even into your final product. It's a disaster, and a really expensive one to fix. And that brings us to the oil itself, literally the lifeblood of your compressor. And it does so much more than just lubricate. It cools the machine, it creates seals between the rotors, and it even helps clean the system. It's a triple threat. And that's exactly why you can't just grab any old oil. You have to use the specific type recommended by the OEM, the original manufacturer. No exceptions. Okay, so now we're getting into Section 5, Industrial Best Practices. This is where we stop just reacting to problems and start getting ahead of them. This is how you move from basic maintenance to a truly proactive professional approach. So what do the pros do? Well, they use data. They're doing stuff like vibration and oil analysis to see problems coming before they happen. They make absolutely sure the compressor room has great ventilation because heat is the enemy. They keep a super detailed logbook every hour, every service, everything is written down. And maybe most importantly, that OEM manual, it's not a suggestion, it's their Bible. They follow it to the letter. All right, we've covered a ton. Let's pull it all together in our last section, Section 6, your maintenance master plan. This is the simple one-page guide to everything we've talked about. And here it is. It really is the straightforward. Your visual checks, daily. Cleaning the filter, weekly. That oil change, every 500 to 1,000 hours. The separator change, plan for that every 2 to 4,000 hours. And the big one, the major overhaul, that's around the 8,000 hour mark. This chart right here is your roadmap. It puts every key task on the calendar for you. So what's the bottom line here? If your facility depends on this machine, then reliability is everything. You're not just doing maintenance, you're buying operational certainty. And the best way to do that is to think ahead. Use those predictive strategies we talked about. And for sure, keep those critical spare parts like filters, oil, and a separator right there on the shelf ready to go. So we'll leave you with a final thought. You now have the complete plan for top-tier compressor maintenance. So the real question is, what's the one thing, the single biggest improvement you can go and do tomorrow to make your system more reliable? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.